Are you gonna start or me?
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Let's Play Sonic 3D Blast. Took you long enough to get off that screen anyway.
Well, that's the way every fucking act of every fucking stage starts, so... Oh, yeah. More good music. I mean, I will admit the Spring Stadium tracks aren't necessarily some of the best out of this. I honestly consider them probably down there pretty low. But they are pretty good. Well, at least the first act. The second act music is memorable for a whole different reason. That we'll get into once we get there. So, since we have absolutely no interest in talking about Sonic, what do we discuss this time instead? I am sorry, folks. I've said it time and time again in recent days. Sonic, I just don't know anymore. I've long since cared for the future of this series beyond a certain point. I just don't want to indulge him at all anymore. It's
just, you know, one of many
what can I say?
dead franchises.
Dead in my heart.
I mean, it's just dead. It is fucking dead. They have not made something like, at least they've made like mediocre games recently, but nothing impressive. They've had so many chances to pull out something impressive, and then they finally come to the 25th anniversary, and what do we get? Sonic and Lego. That's it. It's fucking dead, man.
Sonic Bam is still going, apparently. As far as I know,
Yes, an entirely mediocre television series that's on a channel that has probably way worse series on it. So, yeah, maybe...
Well, I quit Cartoon Network the moment they canceled,
Megas XLR?
Megas XLR, yeah. And that was a long time ago, so forgive me if I have absolutely no idea what's going on Cartoon Network.
Well, I can tell you one thing.
Things are, because I honestly will not, refuse to watch that damn channel because they canceled Megas XLR.
I will tell you one thing. They took the two worst shows on the channel and decided to do a crossover special. Ain't that grand?
Which ones?
The Powerpuff Girls and Teen Titans Go! Ooh, baby! I imagine the reason they both suck so much and they're getting a crossover is because it's written by the same people. I wouldn't know, but I'm assuming they are the same people because they have the same probably completely shitty sense of humor.
What happened?
Based on two series that weren't even comedy, and it's not even like the new Powerpuff Girls is supposed to be some kind of parody, like I guess Teen Titans Go was supposed to be. No, it's just supposed to be like a continuation, and it's shit. And they're just putting in old memes everywhere. Fucking the Powerpuff Girls twerking, and Me Gusta Face, but not Me Gusta Face. They not only did they use an old shitty meme, they got it wrong. So yeah, cartoons are bad these days. Steven Universe is fine, but you know the fans suck, so everything's bad. Life sucks.
Well, that's why we're playing an old video game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Da-da.
An old game that isn't even that good.
Da-da. Oh, hey, the music makes it good, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I don't care about anyone else. This music is what makes me like the game. Probably the only thing that makes me like the game, but it's enough, because I like this music. It's like the same thing with Sonic R. Really, I like all the Sonic R tracks. Some people are like, yeah, you like them because they're so ridiculous, and I'm like, yeah, but they're also good music.
I mean, it is.
It's just like, let's not beat around the bush here. Are the Sonic R tracks bad?
No. I mean, they seem incredibly
They're
out of...
absurd. They're hilarious. But they're good damn tunes as well.
Yeah, good singers.
I mean, I don't know. I'm fine with Eurobeat.
The music is alright, but, you know, I guess it's not Sonic enough for some people, but then some people call Sonic CD's Sonic CD soundtrack, the American version isn't Sonic enough.
I will never understand that. I just don't. The Japanese soundtrack sounds weird to me. It doesn't sound Sonic-y. It sounds like something you hear in a jazz club. A dance club, I mean. 90s dance club. 80s dance club.
Yeah. I don't know, just the Sonic CD soundtrack just sounds weird in the Japanese.
Like, I'll admit there's some guilty pleasures from the opening and ending song of that game.
Probably because they're so ridiculous.
They're so ridiculous, but Sonic Boom. Like, the original 2 versions of Sonic Boom from that game are some of the best Sonic shit I've ever heard. And nothing has surpassed them. Nothing can... No new version. No. Some people say that the Crush 40 version is the best. Please, please, go away. Go away. You're not allowed in this universe anymore. The universe is called for you, and you are no longer needed. Go away.
It's bad. In my opinion, it's just bad. I know.
It's just like, apart from the fact that the Crush 40 vocalists have lost touch, they had cash. They had cash to work with. You don't do that.
I don't know. Oh god. I don't know
that.
How did Crush 40 go from being like rock to being all that all that
Do
fucking...
not do that. Auto-tune?
Yeah.
It's like they completely forgot that no one likes auto-tune. Those who like auto-tune are tone deaf. That's the reason auto-tune exists, is because you're tone deaf. I mean, apparently I'm tone deaf! But I hate auto-tunes. Fuck you. I'm never gonna forgive you for that.
Look, man, I don't know.
I didn't hear it.
Maybe people don't agree with your opinion. Maybe they won't agree with my opinion. You see, I'm very eclectic when it comes to music. I like all sorts of remixes.
You like the Genesis sound chip for its super twanginess, and most people are like, God, that is the most awful thing ever. And I'm like, I'm indifferent, honestly. I like it when it's done well.
I have very eclectic taste in music, but there are just some things where, and I tolerate a lot of remixes of music. I don't immediately jump and say, "Oh, this is awful. All remixes are bad." No, I thought that there was like remixes of
it's one of those things where you either have
like
to have
live and
the
learn
liberal,
and,
everything that's different is good point of view, or you're hyper conservative and oh god, here it is. It's like if you're not one of those idiot liberals who like everything that's different simply because it's different. You're one of those super conservatives who don't like anything that's different.
I don't necessarily mean that in terms of politics. But,
I would.
Sure. I guess it does kind of apply. I guess it does kind of apply to a mindset. I don't know. I don't like everything that's different. It's just I know when something has been butchered, and is Crush 40?
The Crush 40 version of Sonic Boom is one of them.
Yeah. One thing I will say is that I think the song just generally kind of sounds better with a female vocalist.
God. Well, yeah.
It seems like it was written with a female vocalist in mind for a start, and...
Well, let me ask you a question. What would you do if they remixed all the tunes from Sonic R with a male vocalist? I don't think it works. Yeah, but this speaking of butchered tunes, I'll honestly say that this is definitely my least favorite tune out of this, because I mean, listen to this.
It's just got those. It's got
random
the silly sound effects.
Random cartoony sound effects.
Silliness.
Which, you know, works for Sonic because he's a cartoony character, but it's part of the music. It should be part of what the sounds in the stage are, not the tune itself.
Like
it's actually quite stock sound effects with that. That sounds like a sound effect I've heard in Earthworm Jim more than once.
And some Hanna-Barbera in there. Oh.
Yeah.
Was that a dog? Jeez. It just goes nuts.
It's just chaotic, honestly.
And it's just kind of plain while you're like, ugh, this nasty ass jumping puzzle. I mean, not really a puzzle, but it's a
everything
mess.
is so fucking colorful in this stage, it's hard to tell what you're supposed to be able to stand on.
It's blinding. Boing.
Especially when there's these yellow squares off the outside area. There's all these spikes and springs, and then there's the green and blue blocks all over the place.
Actually, you know,
and then I turned into a radioactive cheese disc.
Again. Actually, this is what I've always wondered, is like... In recent games...
And you're supposed to find the multicolored flickies and all this mess.
In, like, various games, it's kind of been suggested that what Eggman wants to have is...
Basically, these...
Ultimate theme park.
Parks.
That's one of his things, because he's a man-child?
But... no matter how many times he builds these theme parks, and they're absolutely nuts. It's just like, why does he even like this?
I don't know what I've never been 100% certain. Like, it says Eggman wants to take... No, has Eggman ever been like, I want to take over the world? He's always just like, I'm going to build Eggman Land. That's the only time when he's spoken about any particular goal.
Robotropolis, or the the Eggman Empire, or something like that.
And usually he basically has that, but he goes about dominating the world to make it bigger for reasons? I don't know.
He wants to be the center of attention in everything that there is.
Because he's a man-child.
Because he's a narcissist.
And man-child.
A narcissistic man-child.
Who happens to be a super genius.
Which just goes to show that people who have high IQs are not necessarily smart.
I like, Will Smith.
Oh, he was born and raised in West Philadelphia. On the playground is where he spent most of his days.
Oh, jeez. I feel like we're just talking about random shit.
Well, what's to talk about? It's Sonic the fucking Hedgehog.
Oh.
In the worst not 3D game you could ever really consider, to be honest.
Now this feels, this running straight, this feels like modern Sonic games.
Pretty much.
Except you're in a tube, so, you're not fooled. Well,
that's one of the things about me and Sonic the Hedgehog personally. Is just that most people care about the speed aspect of Sonic the Hedgehog more than anything else. It's just, to me, speed is one thing. But if all you're doing with that speed is going in what is essentially a straight line, regardless of whatever platforming challenge you have in between, it's just not enough for me. I need a game that entices me to use my speed while exploring. It's just like there's being a straightforward linear platformer with various paths, and then there's having speed that is used to go around with. Like, not just go from point A to point B. It's why Sonic Adventure is still my favorite 3D Sonic game, and probably will forever be, given that I've decided to give up on the series. Because the level design, the abilities of Sonic and company, they encompass a whole lot of the things that I feel are what makes Sonic work for me. Maybe not for everybody, but or the majority, but I like the speed, but I don't want the speed to be the central focus of everything that is being done. Sonic 3 and Knuckles is my favorite 2D Sonic game. Sonic Adventure is my favorite 3D Sonic game. Most people's favorite 3D Sonic games are the ones... Most people's favorite Sonic games in both ways are the ones that are just accentuate the speed. Like Sonic 2, and to be honest, Sonic 2 is probably my least favorite of the two classic Sonic games for that reason.
The only Sonic game I ever really find myself wanting to go back to is... two. I like going back to CD, and I like going back to Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And,
CD
everyone seems to hate CD.
Well, it's either CD is one of those love it or hate it games. To be honest, I thought it was perfectly fine, but then it's like the first Sonic game we ever played. Just like, the spin dash is all wrong. And, well, to be honest, it is, but that's never something that really held the game down for me.
Oh, yeah, spin dash is all wrong, but, you know what there isn't nowadays?
What?
There is no spin dash.
There is no spin dash. Just boost. Oh, these goddamn flickies. I'm missing one.
Oh.
Oh. I know where it is. It's over here. That's another benefit of the Saturn version. You have a pause screen, which actually gives you a map, which actually shows you if you've actually got any flickies loose from you, where they are.
Really something they couldn't get to work on other...
Maybe they just hadn't thought about it. I don't remember.
I mean, you kind of have to rebuild the game from scratch to get it to work on completely different hardware like that. So... I guess...
Maybe not completely, but given the amount of things that they changed... Especially when it comes to the Saturn's construction. Although, with that in mind, they would, since they work with Sega, they would probably know a lot better how to program stuff for that system than anyone else. At least that's what I think. Alright, this boss. I don't know what it is, but this is the one boss in the entire game that gave me the most fucking grief. Those stupid fucking claws.
Everything is... It's disorienting, really.
Yeah, it is, and just
You can't necessarily see what exactly it is that he's hitting or supposed to hit.
well, you would if you could see the drop shadow, but there is a drop shadow. You just need to stay away from it.
The checkerboard here though doesn't make it exactly easy.
There's so many things about this entire environment and the look of this game that make it difficult to.
Piss.
You get the idea, though. This isn't nice.
Not that it would be any nicer on a different console. So. No.
Well, if it were different colors, that contrasted a lot better. Plus, the isometric viewpoint means there's no depth of field, so you don't actually know how far away he is from you without looking at the drop shadow. It's like, he could be right on top of you and be like just a few feet away in a different direction. But the main problem is that this boss dips up and down.
That's real perspective. Fuck. Also, another thing the bosses in this game do is you only get the rings that are in their arena. Like the final boss of every Sonic game prior, but in this case you have to...
Well, that's because the boss is considered a separate stage.
Yeah.
Like in most other
This is Act
classic
3.
Sonic games, you would build up to... You would at least go through a level that built up to the boss, but... Well, with the exception of maybe the 8-bit games.
Ugh.